Welcome back to Suryadev QS Bars Property Matters. When you think of an ideal home or a great place to relax in, I'm sure the image that you conjure up will definitely have a lot of green in it. And if you let your imagination run wild, you're bound to throw in a couple of cascading waterfalls, sparkling blue pools, smooth white pebbles, the list goes on. Of landscaping has transcended beyond imagination, with something new coming out ever so often. But what exactly is landscaping? If your answer is gardens, think again.
Landscaping is an art of getting your exterior or interior into a living space. It could be water, it could be sculpture, it could be pebbles, it could be decks, it could be canopies. You're creating a volume with all those ingredients. Agreed that greenery is a very essential part of it.
Landscaping really is need-based and depends on what one wants to create out of a space. The components used will depend on the type of space.
We're talking about the landscaping of a hotel. It's got to be more flashy. Talk about the hospitals. Well, you got to screen the hospital from noise and dust. So it's more functional landscape.
With over 30 years of experience in the business, landscape architect Shekhar James and his team at Masterplan have worked on numerous projects. It would be impossible for us to look at all of them, but let's take a look at few projects that truly stand out. Hold your breath, some of them can be startlingly beautiful.
These days, one doesn't have to go off to fancy resorts to enjoy lush green flora and bubbling fountains. All this and more can be installed in your very home, and this is precisely what Masterplan has done in some of their residential projects. Then there are indoor courtyards, atriums, gardens, roof terraces and sky gardens that can add to the beauty of a home. Radisson Resort Temple Bay in Mahabalipuram is another one of Shekhar James's babies. Spread out over a sprawling 47 acres, this luxury resort has it all.
If you're talking about Temple Bay, it's bang on the course. And we've used a lot of coconuts to get emphasis on the waterfront feeling. And the resistance to strong sea breeze is a lot less because it's not too canopy.
Temple Bay has two pools, an infinity pool right up on the beachfront that Shekhar James has landscaped with tall coconut trees on little islands in the pool itself, ample amount of other flora, and an edge that makes you believe that you'll drop right into the ever-changing deep blue. But if that's not enough, you'll have to visit the 1 acre pool that's just a few meters away.
Temple Bay is a resort, so we have played around with water. Probably the pool is the largest in the country and the longest. And the technology behind circulation and filtration is all unique, totally unique.
Other than this, there also are fountains, towering trees, small gardens, open-to-sky courtyards, and of course, the wide open lawn.
The rooftop restaurant at the Residency Towers is another one of Masterplan's masterpieces.
If you're talking about a city hotel like Residency Towers, well, we got a restaurant on rooftop, but it's just with waterscape, and that is a unique feature where we let the water spill over the parapet. You don't even know there's a parapet there.
Bamboo shoots lining the boundary, murals on the ceiling, a large fountainhead spraying jets of frothy water into a pebble pool below. Once you have the perfect landscape all figured out, you must take into consideration some of the challenges that you might encounter.
If you're place like Chennai, the problem is the heat, the problem is the water, the problem is the radiation. So you got to be careful about how you handle that. In Chennai, there is a specific group of plants which will thrive well, whether it's flowering or foliage and things like that.
Then there is the inland coastal issue. The strong salt-laden sea breeze apparently cuts down the potential plant list by half. As one begins to move inwards, there will be more trees and shrubs to choose from.
Try not to use very brittle plants. They can sway but not snap. Plants which love to grow in sand, and the groundwater level is fairly high on the coast. They should love it.
When it comes to sky gardens and roof terraces, there are other issues that might hamper your landscape design.
The minute you carry a lot of soil to the rooftop, you got to be careful about the load factor, waterproofing, and that's a breeding ground for insects. You got to be careful about the soil being there. So you got to treat the soil. Drainage has become a major problem when you go for sky gardens in any cities.
Landscape wars are bound to present themselves in different forms, but never fear, because we've got gadgets and gizmos aplenty.
When we talk about sky gardens, the biggest problem is when you slap on soil over their slab, water refuses to percolate and run off. So the next thing is disastrous, it leaks. We've started using an Australian technology called the cellular drains. These are panels with perforations. The panels are spread on the rooftop, and then we cover it with geotextiles, nylon-based geotextiles. Then put in as much soil as you want. So the water percolates, runs through the void, so there's no stagnation. In fact, you could reharvest the water and use it again.
In Chennai, you either have no water or hard water. Softening water is a business by itself, with various chemicals and processes coming into the market to rid water of its hardness. The latest is a clamp-on contraption.
Using ferrite ceramic magnets for softening water, you just clamp it onto a pipe, and that's it. The water on the other side is soft. It runs through, it gets magnetized, and magnetized water deactivates or makes calcium carbonate, which is a hardening agent. It puts it to sleep. So water is soft. Talk about the hydrogels, what we have started using in landscapes. You could say more than 50% of water in irrigation. Automated irrigation, you could program watering, you could control watering. And we've gone to an extent now where if it rained last night, the sprinklers won't come on, because we've got sensors sensing the quantity of moisture in the soil.
Today, with concrete jungles fast expanding and green cover disappearing, landscape architects may be just the solution providers. Thanks to their green thumbs, artistic sensibilities and scientific minds, even urban environments these days have a chance to their own personal Eden. That's all we have for you on Property Matters this week. Do send us your feedback at feedback@ndtv-hindu.com. Until next time, goodbye.